The Midwest also pummeled with a dangerous storm. It knocked out power to over 1 million homes. The line of thunderstorms moving onshore from Lake Michigan, leaving a destructive path as it made its way east. 3 people are dead, and there is significant property damage. Here's the scene in Indiana, where wind severely damaged this drive-in theater. Part of the screen actually torn off there. And we have a time lapse of the scene in Michigan. Reported wind gusts there as high as 80 miles per hour. More than 350,000 customers are still without power. And at least 3 fatalities reported in Michigan, Arkansas, and Ohio. The youngest victim there, just 11 years old. Sloan Glass joins us live now. So, Sloan, there are just some truly tragic stories as a result of the storm.
Exactly, Nicole. In Michigan, Arkansas, and Ohio, loss of life. 2 children and a woman have died as a result of the storms. States in the Midwest and South are in repair mode this evening. Heavy rains, flash flooding, and loss of electrical services to hundreds of thousands of homes and businesses. The National Weather Service says slow-moving thunderstorms brought heavy rainfall and localized flash flooding in Arkansas. An 11-year-old boy died after being swept away into a storm drain during the heavy rainfall. A woman who tried to help the boy was also pulled into the drain. She was taken to the hospital for treatment. And in the Michigan city of Monroe, a 14-year-old girl reached for what she believed to be a stick, but turned out to be a power line behind her home. She was electrocuted and died. In the Detroit area, a pair of brothers 8 and 10 years old were hospitalized after touching a drowned power line that was still active. The younger brother is in critical condition. And more destruction in the Midwest. Monday night in Ohio, heavy rain and wind sweeping through Toledo, where a tree fell on a woman, killing her. And as you mentioned earlier, Nicole, in the South, Mississippi Governor Tate Reeves declared a state of emergency Monday after record-setting rainfall this week. Nicole.
Yeah, such significant weather system. Sloan, thank you. Well, the historical peak of hurricane season is almost here, but things have been eerily quiet this year in the tropics. The season was expected to be a more active one. And just a month ago, the federal agency in charge of monitoring potential hurricanes said it does still expect up to 5 major hurricanes. And there's now a concern some people may be caught off guard with this extended lull in activity. Meteorologist Gerard Bailey is here with an update. And Gerard, it's certainly been quiet, but we do still need to be prepared.
Absolutely. You don't want to be caught off guard right now. And let's just kind of break things down for you a little bit, Nicole, on everything. Okay, so the 2022 season, we've only had 3 storms. The last one to occur was actually the first week of July. So we've had nearly 2 months of quiet. So a lot of people may just be a little bit asleep here at this. All right, now we are about to enter what we would consider kind of the meat of the season, all right? So we're right here. This is where we usually see that historical peak of hurricane season, and things can get very, very active. But let's break down a little bit about what we are expected to see. The latest forecast here from NOAA, which was released at the beginning of the month, still forecast anywhere from between 14 to 20 tropical storms, which are named storms, 6 to 10 of those becoming hurricanes, 3 to 5 of those becoming major hurricanes, Category 3 or higher. That's not too far away from the average. Remember these numbers, 14, 7, and 3. That's still a very far cry away from the 2020 record, an unbelievable year that we had and season where we saw 30 named storms. 13 of those became hurricanes and 7 major hurricanes. All right, let's compare that to about 30 years ago where things were much, much quieter. Okay, 1992, we only had 6 named storms, 4 of them became hurricanes, and only 1 became a major hurricane. Do you remember what that one was? That would be Hurricane Andrew, Category 5, which absolutely destroyed southern Florida. 73 fatalities, 50,000 homes destroyed, and damage estimates by today's numbers, $58 billion. All right, so one thing to note there, 65% chance that we're going to have an above-average season, more of those numbers that we talked about, and we have reasons why. We're talking about the fact that there's a lot of still those ingredients that can cause more hurricanes to happen. The first, La Nina. That's nothing more than cooler than average water temperatures off the equatorial Pacific. El Nino is the opposite of that, remember? So that means weaker wind shear, which can lead to more hurricanes. The next one, we have warmer than average water temperatures. The last is dust coming off the Saharan desert. That is actually starting to take a lull, and we have one system we're watching right now. 80% chance of development out there in the Atlantic right now, and we could be seeing our next named system. Everyone should be prepared for this, Nicole.
All right, Gerard, thank you for that.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.